and welcome, welcome one, welcome all. All right, come on in, come on in. Let's get this conversation going. All right, the big question is who will win? Yes, who will win the general elections? And will it be a September 1, 2, or 3 election day? When will it be? We have a date in mind and we want to share that with you. So come on, guys, come on over. As you come on in, please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button so that we can continue to grow stronger together. Remember, Voices in Education is a safe space where we share and learn from each other. We do that in a respectful way, so we do not bash anyone, we do not belittle anyone, we don't defame, we don't disrespect anyone. All right, we want to ensure that we can share our views despite if it's PNP, JLP, no P. Jamaica land we love, right? And we want to keep this space a safe one, all right? Where you feel a sense of belonging, where you feel valued. Again, welcome one, welcome all. As soon as you get in the chat, let me know where you're tuned in from or the constituency you're associated with if you're in the diaspora. So, again, we want to hear from you. So, we're going to go to some music just to get this live up and running and just waiting for a few people to come because we have a lot to share with you this evening. All right. So, again, tell a friend to tell another friend about the Voices in Education. And please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button. What are you waiting for? Subscribe now. Let's go to some music. All right, guys, welcome, welcome. If you're just tuning in, Welcome to the Voices in Education. Please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and of course, the subscription button. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so just to let you know that the poll that you're seeing on screen, it's our Voices in Education community poll. All right, so it's nothing official. And just to remind you that anyone can vote in this poll. All right, so you can follow the link and vote as well. We would love to, want you to participate. We want to hear from you. We really appreciate the interactions. All right. And again, welcome, welcome, Verna. And this is about Jamaica. All right. And thanks for tuning in from St. Lucia. All right. Again, welcome, welcome. Zaim is here. And guys, right now, I want you to hit the like button, the subscription button, and let us just continue to grow stronger together. All right. Again, welcome one, welcome all. Let me know where you're tuned in from. All right. And we're going to get things going. Ovi, if you're hearing me loud and clear, please be on standby. All right. Please be on standby. And guys, please support us. Please support us. And I must apologize for last evening. I wasn't feeling too well and it just couldn't work out. I tried, but it just didn't work. All right. So again, welcome one, welcome all. Let me know once you're here in the chat. All right. And I'm just taking a quick look in the chat here because sometimes we come in when, we have the thing start up already and some people don't catch it from the go. So I'm just waiting and I see we're growing and we're growing. So as we grow, come on, guys, the easiest way to support us is by liking our guest ways, subscribing. We have a goal in the chat there. If you can support that goal, that would be fantastic. But ensure that you hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button. And welcome. We're keeping it real and respectful. Soji, welcome. Big up yourself, Soji. Welcome. Happy to have you here. All right, big up yourself, Soldier, big supporter of this space, and we're happy to have you guys here. So, guys, lots have been happening, and we keep it real and we keep it balanced. So, if you're new here and you don't understand how this channel operates, you can always get caught up, all right? So you can always go back and, just check to find out, what is going on and pretty much what we are about, okay? So again, welcome one, welcome all. So, so happy to have you guys here with us and we're about to get this one going. But first, are you hearing me loud and clear in the chat? Let me know, let me know, let me know. And Fernand there. Yes, Soldier, everyone, like the show up, guys. Like it up. And Soldier want 50 likes. All right, in 5 minutes. Remember that you're getting the best over here for sure. All right, guys, we're going to give you the information and we're going to leave it up to you. So we have some clips from the opposition. We have one that is going to be longer from the Prime Minister. And let me explain. The last night on this show, all right, where we're doing our community poll, we actually got the opportunity to hear Mr. Golden, at least part or most of his speech, live during our session here. I was supposed to come back and do the same thing last evening with the Prime Minister talking at East Rural St. Andrews Conference, but as I said, I was not feeling well. As a result, I shared that video on the channel itself and we're going to talk about it. And I also have a video from Mr. Golding. We also have some information that I wanted to share with you on screen. Perhaps I'm going to go to that now. And guys, please be patient with us because our main device is out. And if you ever see what I am using, but still, we're giving it to you. And I'm happy that you're hearing us loud and clear. All right, so thanks for that, Mats Morgan. Let's go to what I want to show you here. This. So you should be seeing this information on your screen now. And we were talking about it, but while I had access to it eventually yesterday, we not yesterday, the day before, we found the information, we relocated the information. I want you to see it for yourself. So you can hear us, but I also want you to see it. So I copied it, have it on screen here, the important aspect. And this was from a media communication from the ECJ. All right, so we're talking about the elections, and I don't know if Ovi is in agreement with me, but I want Ovi to be here. So Ovi, check in, check in. All right, in that context. So in the context of what we have on screen here, all right, it states the law requires that nomination day be a minimum of 16 and a maximum of 23 days before election day and at least 5 clear days after the announcement of an election. All right, so given this context, we went to the calendar and we started to do some calculations. Now, based on our calculations, all right, we got to September 3rd. Yes, September 3rd. So that's where we're foreseeing that the elections will be. And I believe we have Ovi here. Ovi, talk to us. Let me know if we're hearing you loud and clear in the chat there.
I am here. Thank you for inviting me over. Really happy to be
Fantastic.
here. Welcome, guys.
You
And
sound
let
a
me know if
little,
you're hearing me loud and clear in the chat.
you sound a little distance for me, but persons in the chat, let me know if you're hearing Ovi loud and clear. So let me just check in the
Uh,
chat there. So if they're hearing you loud and clear, come on, guys, let me know if you're hearing Ovi loud and clear. So keep talking, Ovi, so that they.
yes, guys. Yes, I'm here and I'll share my little bit, my 2 cents. Let me know if you want to hear my 2 cents or if you're hearing me loud and clear. So that would be nice. Let me see if they're going to really listen here. Make sure you're subscribing and you're liking the video. You'll continue to support this channel.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Vanessa.
Somebody commented in the chat, so I'm not seeing that. So yeah, that's fine, Ovi. So
Yeah.
Ovi, we were talking. Well, I just introduced this topic, and in the context of the general elections, the upcoming elections, we heard from Dr. Chang, and in a little bit or later on, I'll try to play that clip for you guys, that the elections will not go beyond September. So that is clear to us. And we heard from the Prime Minister in East Rural St. Andrew, and you guys will hear that in the video. You'll see and hear that from the video that I'm going to play. That toward the end of his speech, that he was saying, the elect very soon. So we have heard that. Now we have this information that is on screen currently, and we did some calculations. As a matter of fact, we started to calculate before today, but we want to explain the calculations to our listeners and viewers, right? And so how we kind of have 2 days, two dates, right, Ovi? But one is we're more stronger, aligned with one than the other for just some obvious reasons. But guys, if you can look at your calendar while we're going through this one, you can definitely do that. So again, what the law requires, as you can see on screen, is that nomination day be a minimum of 16 and a maximum of 23 days before election day, and at least 5 clear days after the announcement of an election. So, if the Prime Minister should announce the election on Sunday, this coming Sunday, it means that nomination day must be 5 clear days. So you would have to count Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 5 clear days. The following day, because I believe it's going to fall on the Saturday, we were foreseeing that if the elections were called on Sunday, then nomination day would be the following Monday. All right, Ove, so I don't know if you're ready to jump in here with some of the dates that we were utilizing to calculate the election day. All right, so not hearing from Ovi, so we can start our calculations. And guys, you can tell us in.
I'm here, so I'm still here. I was just paused, muted rather.
Go ahead. So, do you want to just bring us into the calculations, starting with the Sunday elections being called this Sunday, the 10th?
Yeah, so we're talking about it. We're saying that if the election was called on Sunday, then they would have to give um, they have to give 5 clear days. So we would count the Monday, the Tuesday, the Wednesday, the Thursday, the Friday, and that would give us 5 days. But it said 5 clear days, so we're thinking that nomination day would be on the 18th
Simply because the 16th and the 17th, Saturday and Sunday.
weekend. Yeah.
Or
And that, the election day must be at a minimum of 16 days from the nomination day and a maximum of 23. So we counted from the 18th,
right.
and that landed us. I'm on my calendar, guys, so let me flip over because we were literally doing this manually.
So the 16th from the 18th would land us on September 3rd.
September 3rd, yes. So it would get us down to September 3rd. So that's a possible day in which, the election could be called. And what that does, if it falls on the 3rd of September, it would make the statement that Horace Chang made true, and also the statement that were made by the Grand Prime Minister saying that it's going to come soon, true. So that date could be a possibility for the general election.
And also the fact that we're getting some updates that the new school year is possibly going to commence on September 8th. So just to put that in the equation there as well. So Ovi, if we were to do the 23 days, the maximum from the 18th of August, where would that land us? Ovi, are you still
Yes,
here?
I'm still
Okay.
here. So I think that will get us to the 10th of September.
The 10th or the 9th?
Sorry, up to the 9th. Yes, up to the 9th, my bad. So up to the 9th of September. So that's where it would be for 23 days.
Fantastic. And so, what I analyzed, and we kind of talked about this previously, is the fact that I don't think the government is going to want to deal with all the September morning worries, right? To have that influencing the general elections, especially the fact too that the opposition, they do not like the school bus plan. So you wouldn't want to wait until that time where that could now become a factor in the elections. So I feel that we're going to get this election in the first week of September. and we're predicting September 3rd. No, we had another little conversation where we're saying it's also likely that they could have this mass meeting on Friday as opposed to the Sunday. So we were also looking at Friday the 8th of August. It's unlikely, but not so unlikely. The Saturday is also there as well. But I am thinking that, the Sunday is more likely the day that we're going to get. So I'm not sure, guys. Let us know what you think in the chat. That would be fantastic. I don't know. I'm not seeing any new comments in the chat. Guys, ensure that you're hitting the like button. Ensure that you're hitting the subscription button. Let us just continue to grow stronger together. So, Ovi, based on all that we have calculated, how do you feel about our dates?
Well, I think it's reasonable. And again, we have to make sure that we're holding the politicians to their word. And that's what we're using as a part of the evidence or, to substantiate the comments that we're making here. So with the election is going to be called soon, and with it happening before the end of September, and based on what we have discussed in terms of the rolling out of the school bus, with the school year being pushed back to a week, then we're proposing that it might fall somewhere in that first week of September. And with all those taken into account, I think the dates are pretty strong. And we'll look to see if that is something that will come out when it comes to the election and the announcement from the Prime Minister.
Oh, absolutely. And guys, this is just our predictions. Our predictions in the context of, dates. So these are just predictions. And I know Ovi mentioned about evidence. The evidence is that it could be any time in September, based on what Dr. Chang said. But if we're looking at all the conditions as he stated there, all the various factors, as a government, you wouldn't want certain factors to be impacting and to be dealing with some factors that you could prevent at that point, before getting into that kind of situation. You don't have to deal with them. So if you call the election before school begins, then it means that you won't have to deal with those factors so close to a general election, right? And especially with the school bus, and given the context too, that the opposition, they do not support the school bus move. So you want to ensure that you get the general elections before school begins. That's just what we're saying. We're going to open the phone line in a little bit, but perhaps we'll just go to the other updates that we have. I was trying to share some, the opposition, they were in halfway tree, I believe. And I am going to play later on what Mr. Golding, perhaps share. But we have quite a few, and we'll try to get through these things as quickly as we can. So right now, I am just going to go to, I think, a video clip from the opposition leader. Then we'll go straight into the Prime Minister's speech at the East Rural St. Andrew Conference. All right, so let's just try to get this one going.
Promise to walk with you, but then they walk away from their plans. But how many would sit with you, really sit with you? You should never have to choose between your education and your future. The first in your family accepted in college or university will get a full scholarship because you matter. Student loan repayments will be capped at a percentage of what you actually earn, and you won't be asked to pay a cent unless you're employed. This election is not just about change, it's about your future. your family. It's about you. They had 10 years to choose you, and they chose themselves. You deserve a better life. Jamaica, time come, and that time is now.
All right, so that's a message there from the opposition leader, and just highlighting some policies there that they would put in place if they should form the next government. And, guys, you just have to get caught up. So if you're with us each evening, you will understand the progress. So, or you'll understand, how we are sharing stuff. So we have shared, the JLP's record of achievements. We have looked at some policies, some things that we are not able to share live because of time. We have those as videos too on this channel. And I know teachers, you have been asking us to go over Crawford's policy, and we have yet to get to that point, but soon, hopefully. All right, so let's now go to the Prime Minister, all right, in East Rural St. Andrew, the speech there last evening.
Labour rights, let's welcome now the Member of Parliament for West Central St. Andrew, leader of the great Jamaica Labour Party, Prime Minister for one term, Prime Minister for two terms, Prime Minister for the third term, Andrew Wunas. Let me greet my colleagues on the platform. And I want to make special commendations to Area Council 1. They have been very organized and they have worked very hard. And I commend them. But I especially want to commend a very hard-working lady. Someone who I've known all my life. Someone who, aside from family, she loves the people. And she has made the people of East Rural her family. And I have observed her over these many years becoming more and more involved in political life. And when I discuss her involvement with her, I began to realize that she didn't, she moved from coming into politics because of me, but now she's in politics because of you. Because all she talk about now is you. Everybody who needs school fee, everybody who have problem with health and they ask for assistance, every citizens group that quarrel about road not fixed, every taxi driver that pass our office they drop in our pothole, everything. She's so involved in it. She has made it her life. She's passionate about the people and the challenges of the people. But I also find that she is even more excited to find the solutions. So take away the party, take away the government. She is a good person for you. She cares for you. She will make the sacrifice for you. But she is competent. She know what she do. She very smart. She know how to get things done. She is very effective and efficient. She get things done quickly. And so I don't even know who is running against her. But it really doesn't matter, because she has distinguished herself by her service, by her works, by her works. She has earned your support and your vote.
Let's get the
And by the
lights up, guys.
response that I have seen here in your attendance and attention, it is clear to me that you are rewarding her with your support and her vote.
Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button and the subscription button.
I am speaking it into being, therefore, that Juliet Holness will be the Member of Parliament for East Rural St. Andrew after the next general election.
Miss Holness, cook them, cap them, would back them.
The Jamaica Labour Party took over Jamaica at a very precarious time in its history. The country was teetering on the edge. Many problems. Aside from the economic problems, the country faced a government problem. A government that couldn't ensure that a simple thing like motorists getting proper fuel for their car, proper gas for their car. You remember? Bad gas? You remember that? That was a government failure. We were dealing with a government that was not able to control simple things like a mosquito-borne disease. Yes, we have dengue, and sometimes you have an outbreak, we jump on it and get in control. The Minister of Health is here. But they couldn't control chikungunya, which they knew what to do and didn't do it. They couldn't provide our hospitals with the resources to ensure that our babies would survive. And we had a problem called the dead baby scandals. You remember that? Government problem. And all they tried to do is to recreate those scandals of their government. Recreate them artificially and falsely. But the people already know that when the PNP form the government, we end up with a bad government. Bad government. So, if you look at the PNP government between 2011 and 2015, and you look at all their failures, they had failures with electricity. They had failures with the bad gas. They had failures with a thing they call Jeep. How many of you remember Jeep? So they're going to provide employment to people. It is not so long ago that these things have happened, and people still remember them. When we took over, we made a commitment that we are going to give the people good government. We are going to be effective in the management of the affairs of the people. Look at us. We take over. We have a big problem called COVID. Think about it. The worst pandemic. Well, it's the only pandemic we have had in 100 years. And it happened not by us, we don't have nothing to do with it. But look how we manage it. I want you to stop and think for a moment. If COVID happened under the PNP, what would our country be today? Just think about it. Just think about it. They couldn't manage the economy. Between their 5 years from 2011 to 2015. Think about it. They raised taxes on the people at least twice. They put on $34 billion of new taxes on the people. $34 billion. What that means is that they went into your pocket and took out more money in order to fund their government. Look at what we have done now for 10 years. No new taxes. Beryl hit us, and we were able to, out of our own resources, recover from Beryl to borrow. 14,000 Jamaicans got assistance for recovery from Beryl from our own resources, and we were able to do that within after the event. Can you imagine if Beryl occurred under the PNP? Thank God, not like that never happened. So I want to make the point to you quick and fast. You have a better government that knows how to manage government and run your affairs. You can have confidence and faith in this government. The PNP is a risk. It is an uncertainty. You're taking a chance. We have given you stability. No question about that. Dollar stable. Inflation stable. Unemployment come down. Tax, you don't have to worry about that. Look now on security. If you look at when crime start to rise in Jamaica, past 1,000 murders under the PNP. We are the ones that are working now to bring murders sub 1,000 at the end of the year. We are the ones that has made the greatest reduction in murders and crime in Jamaica. A problem which many thought could never be solved, but we solving it. So my friends, we are entering this season very quickly. The season of decision. The season when you have to choose. And we are not to close our eyes and say, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. No, that's not how we do it. The PNP want you to close your eyes and listen to their lies. No, no. What we are going to do is to examine the track record. And when we put to you our performance, which we have documented in a nice little book. You remember a couple of months ago I told you that we are going to look at all our achievements and we're going to produce our top 200. It's far more than 250, but the book would have been too big. So we take the top 250. Minister Tufton, you are the campaign manager. We have at least another 100 more achievements that we didn't put in the book. If you can find the time, sir, right? Please publish those other 100 in a smaller book. But we're not going to stop there. We have told all the members of parliament to document what they have achieved and done in their constituency. Notice, your member of parliament, Juliet Holness, was able to read out all the things that she has done, and I'm sure that's not all of it. And so at our meetings that we are going to have, when your members of parliament are speaking, aside from the gimmicks and the show and the dancing, they're going to tell you what they have done. Because you are going to be empowered with knowledge and information to make the right decision. So quick and fast, two other things I want to leave with you. This constituency is a beautiful constituency. It is very large. Geographically, it has lovely hills. And it has a nice little plain in and Bull Bay side. But there is a big problem with water. Not just in this constituency, most of the rural belt, even heading over into St. Thomas, big problem with rural water. We have a company that was established in 1986, thereabout, the Rural Water Supply Company. And that company has certain capacities. It can set up mini or micro water supply schemes in rural communities. 1 year we made an allocation of $800 million, forgive me, to the company to do several projects. But the company is restricted because of its size. What we're going to do with that company, we're going to make an investment in that company to expand it, to give it more engineers, to give it more project managers, so that it can take on more of the smaller projects in the rural communities. I remember touring a community up in the hills, and the people were very creative. They were using irrigation hoses, putting it up on trees, taking the water from a stream and gravity feeding it down to their homes. That shouldn't be the case in modern day Jamaica. It is not a matter that we don't have the budget to do it. It is now a matter that we need to increase the capacity of the agencies that we have created to deal with this problem. And therefore, we are going to give greater capacity to the Rural Water Supply Company to be able to take on these projects. I guarantee you that within the next 5 years, we will treat with all the water problems in these communities. We have the capabilities to do it, and we have the resources to do it. We will get it done. Finally, in 2011, the PNP made a promise that they will take GCT off electricity. They didn't fulfill that promise. we made a commitment that we are going to address the issues that you face with electricity, which is probably one of the most significant costs that households face in their consumption basket, the cost of electricity. And we have started to address that. We have cut GCT on electricity. We move it from 15% to 7%. That's a significant cut. So when you look at the electricity bill, you start to see the reduction. But for persons who now don't have electricity or who have electricity through other means, and you know what I mean when I say through other means, it is a problem that we have to address, because everybody who is getting their electricity informally, I am certain that if they were given an affordable option, they would go with the formal and regular and legal means. We have to change how our government operates to ensure that our people can follow the law in getting the basic things that they need to survive. And that is why we have a program that is going to help every household that needs assistance with household wiring, because you can't get formal electricity if your house don't properly wire. And so we have started that program now to help households through the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, and rural electrification. Second thing is that some people would prefer an option to be able to pre-purchase electricity, like how you buy a phone card, so that they can manage their electricity consumption instead of at the end of the month a bill come that they never even figure out that they would have that cost coming on them. And then before you know it, they can't pay it and the light cut off. So what we're going to do is expand the prepaid electricity program. So those households who would want to be able to get their electricity by prepaying it, these are just some of the initiatives that your government is putting in place to make life more affordable for you. Come September, many of you who will be sending your children to school in some of the rural communities will be able to benefit from a far reduced fare on the public school bus system that we will be implementing come September, for which this constituency and many others in rural Jamaica will benefit from. We have to give Minister Darrell Vaz some credit, because he took the first step and brought in two of the buses and tested them in his constituency and his wife's constituency. So we have some data as to how those buses perform. But you know, the value to get from those buses is far more than the savings that you are going to get in your pocket. A large part of the deterioration in our social values and in the behavior of our children is how they are treated on public transportation. It is what they are exposed to in public transportation. So even if there were a slightly increased cost relative to any other solution, I would prefer this solution, because it would mean that once and for all we can ensure that our children are transported from their home to school and from school back to home in an environment that is conducive for good and proper behavior that will improve generally our society. So my friends, these are just some of the things that we are doing. Whenever I come to the platform, I am tempted to go through all the things. But I'm reminded that you have been here for a while. And the speakers have all said what I have said already, many of them. So I'm just reinforcing to you. But let me say, there is no guarantee for anything. We have to work for it. The story of my life is that I have never been given anything free. I've had to work for anything that I've had. I have said it before and I will say it again. I don't know what a gold spoon looks like. It has never been in my mouth. I have no inheritance or any endowment or any trust fund anywhere. Whatever I have worked hard and honestly for it. I have never gained wealth by exploiting the people. No. And I want to say to you that my ethic is that I believe in working for what I have. By the sweat of my brow, I shall eat bread. And that is the ethic of the Jamaica Labour Party. We work for what we have. And in the same way, we are working for the third term. We are not believing and acting as if we are entitled to a third term. There is no entitlement. Some people behave like they own Jamaica. It's just a matter that time come for them. It's not a matter that they work for it. It's not a matter that they deserve it. It's not a meritocracy. It's just that time, the effluxion of time. It's just so. But we have never, I certainly have never behaved entitled in Jamaica.
Hit the like button,
A part of
guys.
the challenge that I face is that I represent a disruption, a real disruption for those persons who believe that they have an entitlement to Jamaica. You see, I don't have any Tapanaris in me. I am 100% purebred Jamaican. The struggles that you went through, I went through. I know what it is to walk to school. I know what it is to not have a seat in a classroom. I went to Spanish Town Primary with more than 60 people in the classroom. I know. And it is because I've had those experiences why I believe that I have been able to direct the development of policy that has made from what has been considered as a basket case to now being considered as the case study for a country to transform itself without mineral resources, without dictatorship, without external and foreign aid. We, together as a people, will transform our country. I wish no man one thing with me. When I go to my bed, I don't worry about things. My heart is clean. I have never wished harm on anyone. I have never spoken ill of anyone, and I can say I have never spread a rumor on anyone. And I don't tell lies on people. As I said, I've said it over and over and over and over again. There is a battle for the minds of the people of Jamaica. There are some people whose mind is already set. And I use the analogy that they support a football team. I am a Liverpool fan, and Desmond is a Manchester United fan. That not gonna change. If Liverpool are lose, me a Liverpool fan. And if Manchester United are lose, Desmond is a Manchester United. It just not gonna change. And so you have some people in Jamaica like that. I keep saying, however, that the consequences of supporting a bad government is far more dangerous to you than the consequences of supporting a bad football team. So to those who treat their politics like how they treat football, I would encourage them to start looking at performance and make rational decisions. And that is why we have put out now our achievements book, so that you can make rational decisions. The book, people look at it and say, oh, it's a PR stunt. No, think deeply about what that book is. That book is the expression of the Jamaica Labour Party's respect for you. We respect you. We know that you will take up that book of performance and you will read it and you will make your own logical conclusions as to who is best to run this country. That's what it is. It is our symbol of respect that for the first time in the history of Jamaica, a political party can turn over to you its prospectus of performance for you to decide and not to play upon emotions, but to focus your mind on performance. So Labourites, the time is drawing near. My Jamaican family, the time is drawing near. My Jamaican people, you have a strategic government, a disciplined government, a government that does things systematically and in order. We don't believe in chaka chaka, and we never, ever, ever, ever look chaka chaka. When I put my hand out to you to shake it, you don't have to think twice. You can take my hand. You know that we are clean-hearted and clean hands. We don't believe in chaka chaka. So, we come to you with clean hands, we come to you with a clean heart, and we bring clean words to you. And we give you knowledge and information on which you can make a decision. So the time, my friends, is drawing near. We have taken the time to make the calling and election sure. We're not leaving any stone unturned. We're not leaving any voter unconnected or unattended. And it means that all of you who have come here, you have that duty to connect with your neighbor, connect with your co-worker, connect with your friend, and let them know that Jamaica is on the path. Jamaica is rising. Jamaica is growing. Jamaica is changing. Jamaica is transforming. Prosperity is the direction, and we will achieve our goals. Labourites, I love you. God bless you. My Jamaican family, God bless you. Choose Jamaica for better communities. Choose Jamaica for our prosperity. Labourites.
All right, guys, so there you've had it. All right, so in the context of the Prime Minister there sharing, and we shared earlier about a message there from the opposition leader. So, Ovi, I'm just going to come over to you. I know I have some points here that stood out to me. And, guys in the chat, I want to hear from you in a little bit. I'll put the WhatsApp number in the chat because we're just going to get to business and wrap this one up. So, Ovi, what stood out to you from that in the context of the upcoming general elections, and any other messages that stood out to you from the Prime Minister's comments?
Yeah, the prime minister there took some time and established some stuff. He really went about making sure that persons know what they have accomplished and where to find it. In that book of accomplishments that he has published. He also made mention of the fact that there are more accomplishments that is not in the book because he didn't want the book to be too big. So, that's saying that they have done a lot in their 10 years and he's not letting anything be forgotten by the people. And, I like the fact that he is going to get the MPs to be accountable to the people by
Yeah.
just explaining to the people what they have done for the constituency in that term that they have served, and just to give the people an understanding that this was achieved, and if you want me to continue achieving stuff, then you'll need to put me back in. So just to refresh the minds of the people, I think that's a good move from him. And he also made and it is going to be a matter of fact. He said this is going to be the way forward. So we can expect the other MPs to be doing the same thing that Juliet did on the podium, because she also mentioned the stuff that she did in her constituency. And that's a good way to get persons to understand how their politicians have performed, or their member of parliament have performed for the period that they were in. So those are good things that he has mentioned there. And he said, I guess the most important thing that he mentioned was that soon things, he's going to call the election soon. So he's saying that what, things soon call. And there's another point I was going to mention. Yes, he's making sure that persons are understanding what is happening. He spoke about the rural water, the rural parish, rural parts of the country. Some persons are having trouble getting water. He's saying that he's going to invest in that. So he is definitely ensuring that he's connecting with all the members, all the Jamaican citizens in that regard. So, in essence, this is what I am getting overall from his presentation. I think he's saying that, one, fear what my party, we're not leaving anything to chance. As he said, they're leaving no stones unturned. So he's not taking this election for granted. And probably that is why he took a little bit of time before he is going to call it. He's making sure that he has dotted all his I's and crossed his T's in order to ensure that he gets a third term. So that's pretty much what I got from it. And, not sure if you agree with what I have said. And if you want to share some of the things that you have taken away from this message, I would love to hear your take on it.
Oh, absolutely. So I feel that we kind of get a slow start, like a build up in the context of that presentation. So you talked about, Juliet being a very good candidate, a very good MP, and they should return her for another term. He went on to talk about the PNP failures in the context of bad gas, Chick V, Jeep, and he kind of transitioned into the performance of the Jamaica Labour Party under extenuating circumstances such as COVID, burial, and how they were able to help people, I believe 14,000 Jamaicans within 2 weeks, I believe he said, and they did not borrow any money, which was, I guess, important for them. The failures again for the PMP in the context of, he mentioned like crime, he mentioned also the GCT and electricity that didn't happen, but under their government that the tax came down from 15 to 7%. The track record is what we have talked about. And you mentioned the MPs in terms of people should ask them, what have you done for the constituency? I really, really appreciate that. But no, I feel toward the end of his presentation or speech, I felt that that was a response to what was shared over the weekend regarding the Integrity Commission and the case. And I am not really going to discuss a case that is before the court, but just, the Prime Minister was sharing that, he worked hard for what he has, and honestly, for what he has never exploited the Jamaican people. He did not get a gold spoon, so he never born with gold spoon in his mouth. And he went on, I think this was like now striking at the opposition leader, Mr. Mark Golding, because he was saying, there is no tapanarist attitude within me or within the Jamaica Labour Party. And he continued in that to say, they don't believe in chaka chaka, and they never look chaka chaka, and pretty much saying that, we're reaching out to you, the people, and, we are telling you exactly what we have done, what we will do, and you can trust us, you can have that confidence in us. And of course, he reiterated that we're entering the season to decide very quickly. All right, so we are sensing from that the elections are pending, they're coming up very quickly. And again, as I shared with you guys, General Secretary Oris Chag shared that, the elections will not go beyond September. So that's a clear indication that we're going to get the elections in September. Oh, well, because based on our calculations, no, it's not possible for August if it is that. And I suspect, as we mentioned, that with the independence coming up, they would not want to interfere with those national, holidays. So, in that context, we want to hear from you guys, what you believe, what are your views. If you're here and you have not yet hit the like button and the subscription button, please let us know, because that was so long. I am going to just play back the clip from Mr. Golding, and then, or Ovi, I'm just going to perhaps disconnect you a little bit just to get the audio in from Mr. Golding. We're going to see if this works. So, and then we open the phone line, because I was trying to get this on screen, but it just didn't work out. So we're going to try and see how best we can get this shared for you. All right, so again, welcome one, welcome all. And let me just get this up to share from Mr. Golding. They had some conversations, as I shared, with the taxi operators, Crossroads or somewhere there, and they got feedback. And I know that some, they were issuing, I guess, gas vouchers. So I'm just going to try and get Mr. Golding. And I don't know, because guys, one of the things that we do here, we do our research, we search, and so we also search, what the each party is putting out. So as long as the information is accessible, we will access it from directly from the party and what they're sharing. So that's how we share our information. So hopefully this is the first clip, but let's listen to Mr. Golding.
The general principle that we see the operators in the sector as business people, people who have invested their money, their capital, and who are seeking to make a livelihood out of that investment. Business people provide a vital service to the society because without a transport sector, you have no economy. And the economy is critical to the society in which we live. So you, the operators, are an essential part of Jamaica's economy and society. And what we really need is a framework that is based on principles of mutual coexistence, of an orderly system of transportation that allows the Jamaican people to be transported safely and in dignity, in conditions that are conducive to them being productive at the workplace. And when they get home, they feel that they have had a good day's work and they've got home safely. And we also want a system where the operators feel valued, feel respected, and also understand the importance of playing within the rules of the system. Because transportation is a serious business. People's lives are at stake, and we can't have chaos in the system. It doesn't suit anybody to have a system which is based on lawlessness or on a generally chaotic atmosphere of operations. So, from my standpoint, we have the JUTC, which is a government-owned bus company for the KMTR, and it is losing money hand over fist. It's taking a lot of public resources to keep going, but it provides an important service to the people of KMTR. We have the private operators as well, and what we need is to design a system which allows space for each to make money, each to be successful, in their business, and the commuting public benefit from that. Now, I know that the sector is riddled with challenges. I mean, I was thinking to myself, if you woke up one morning and said, without any prior knowledge, how would you design a transport system for Jamaica? What we have now would not be what you come up with. You would come up with something much more rational, something that is much better balanced, and that makes sense for the players involved. But we are where we are. So we have to evolve this system into a better system. And I don't claim to have all the knowledge about the system that we have. What I do know is that in order to make it better, we must partner with the players who are there. We must let the players know that we respect them, that we value them, and that we want to make their lives better, and we're seeking their cooperation in that process. So change is never a simple thing. Not every change is going to be what people want, because sometimes things that are happening now are not happening the way they should, and we need to adjust our behavior. And that is always a challenge. But if the bigger picture is understood, and the objectives and principles that are leading you to the bigger picture are clear and are worthwhile and are worked out in a spirit of consultation, then I think we can get the buy-in of the stakeholders, in particular the operators in this case, to move to a better system. I know, for example, that there are many taxi operators who accumulated large number of tickets because they were operating in a system where, although they were hackney, they had to be traversing routes where the rules of the game did not allow them to operate fairly.
All right, so let's see if we can find the other clip there for Mr. Golding. Again, welcome one, welcome all. So happy to have you guys here with us. If you're new to this space, welcome. Voices in Education is a safe space where we share and learn from each other. We do that in a respectful way to ensure that we're maintaining our safe space, our safe community, where you feel a sense of belonging and where you feel valued. If you have not yet hit the like button and the subscription button, what are you waiting for? All right, we do this each evening, so ensure that you turn on your post notification so that you do not miss any updates. We try to bring you the latest updates from both sides. And on screen, you're seeing our community poll, so you can vote in this poll. Right now, it's 74% for the JLP and 26% for the PMP. Let's go back to our opposition leader, Mr. Mark Golding.
Because the rules of the game operated in that way. And we have to look at that as to how we're going to deal with that. Because we are a party that believes in social justice. And where we see injustice, one of the roles of the government is to try and eliminate injustice in the society. And I'm prepared to look at whatever modifications may be necessary to make the system more just and fair for those who are in it now. We know about the issues of financing. So, for example, in the context of housing, we have come up with some proposals that would help to allow persons who are not formally employed and therefore can't prove their income to access mortgage financing for a home. And I'm thinking, well, how do we bring those principles of operation to the transport sector to allow transport operators to upgrade their capital, their asset, to whether it be a more current vehicle or a bigger vehicle and so on, when they may not be in a position to prove income either. And I think there's a role for the state to get behind those operators that have a track record of performance, have a track record that says they are decent, law-abiding, hard-working, and reliable transport operators, and provide the mechanism for them to get access to finance for upgrading their capital investment, their vehicles, with the state playing a role in making that happen. And I'm committed to thinking through how we can do that so that the sector benefits from access to finance, which it doesn't currently have. And we have to think out of the box sometimes to achieve these things, because this is not just about clinical aspects of business. This is also about social development and uplifting the society. And the truth is that our taxi operators represent a chunk of the small business community and an aspect of it which has operated in an environment where there have been many obstacles and difficulties that they have had to traverse. And that is why we have to be very creative and very progressive in our approach to dealing with those issues. So I don't plan to try and lay down, details as to my views on the transport sector. My views are we need a strong transport sector. We need to value and respect the players that are there. We need rules of the game that make sense, that are rational and that are fair to all. We need regulators who apply those rules fairly, and where the players who are regulated by those rules understand the rules and see the importance of them and are prepared to work within them because they make sense and they are justified. And of course, we need to support other aspects of the industry to make it a better industry, including things like access to finance and the infrastructure that you operate within, the parking issues and so on, which again is going to require great collaboration amongst all the players and the municipal corporations to work out how we can provide the necessary parking facilities so that the system operates efficiently. I think the question and answer session, which I assume we're going to have, will be an opportunity for me certainly to learn more from you, and I'm sure my colleagues as well, so we can hear from you what your concerns are, what suggestions you may have, because this is really part of, for us, a learning process as we come into government, that we have fresh in our mind the issues, the burning issues of the day concerning your industry, which is a major industry with thousands of operators in it, who we want to have a good partnership with, a strong and respectful and mutually beneficial partnership between government and the players in the industry. So I'm going to hand back to our Master of Ceremonies, MP Julian Robinson, and we can take it from there.
All right, so fantastic, fantastic. Welcome, I see King in the chat. Papine, welcome, welcome. So yes, guys. So if you're just tuning in, you would have missed a lot. All right. So that's the last clip that we're going to go to, and as you know, we heard from the Prime Minister, we heard from the opposition leader now, and today, well, yes, today, so this was really today in Crossroads area there, and just talking about the transportation system, the balance that needs to happen in the context of the rules of the game, also fairness, and not the opposition leader saying, he does not necessarily have, he does not necessarily has all the information, right? He does not have the information, but he's open to learning and to hear from them. And I suspect that the opposition, they're also, their campaign is also about targeting particular sectors. I feel, I don't know, and this is why teachers are reaching out for us to talk about Damian Crawford, but perhaps Damian Crawford lost the teachers somewhere along the line there with that 2 hour extension. But Ovi, I am going to come over to you just to find out, your views on, what Mr. Golding just shared. So you can just circle me back, Ovi. Hopefully you were tuning in, but if not, that's totally okay. But guys, I am also going to put the WhatsApp number in the chat if you're going to call in and you're not able to keep it real and respectful. We don't bash anyone, whether JLP, PNP, no P. We don't disrespect anyone, and we don't defame anyone. And I don't want to disconnect anyone from the phone. So if you know you can't keep it real and respectful, do not call, please. And we don't want to get in any trouble, right? We don't have any money to pay any lawsuit. And they say, who know better? Do better. All right. So, yeah. All right. So again, welcome one, welcome. You say you're going back to sports, Papi, and yes, guys, we do quite a lot here. All right, we do quite a lot here. So if you're new to this channel, we do sports, current affairs, and we look at a lot of issues. All right. So again, welcome one, welcome all. So happy to have you guys here with us. If you have not yet hit the like button, all right, please do that. If you have not yet hit the subscription button, please do that. And the WhatsApp number is pinned to the top of the chat there. You can give me a quick WhatsApp call. We just have a few more minutes before we wrap this one up. We do this each evening, or at least we're trying our best to keep that going. So it's important for you to turn on that post notification. So tap the bell and select all so that you do not miss any updates from this channel. That is definitely important. And guys, yes, we're going to do our election predictions, all right, regarding the constituencies. Ovi, talk to me.
Yeah, Mr. Golden, just talking about Mr. Golden's speech, pretty much what you have shared, he was focused on transportation and, obviously transportation is really important to the country. And he's saying that they need to find a way to regulate the transportation system, ensure that, value and respect is here and that there is fairness to everyone. So I'm just thinking that he's saying that he wants the playing field to be really level so that and things to be transparent so that they are able to, the transportation system can function in a meaningful way.
Yeah, so if you were a taxi operator, would this be enough for you to decide which party you vote for? Just considering everything that is happening in the space.
Well, I would need some more information, to be honest. You'd have to come with a bit more detail to satisfy my mind.
Okay, okay. So yes, guys, the phone line is open. So if you want to give us a quick call, you can do that. All right, we're not going to be here for too long. All right, and not too longer. We're going to wrap this one up in a little bit, and we're going to be back here tomorrow. So roll call. So time for roll call. Roll call. Roll call. Let me know where you're tuned in from, or the constituency you're tuned in from, your MP. Drop it in the chat. And again, we would love to hear your voice. If you have not yet participated in the community poll, I am going to try to put that link in the chat. All right, so let me just get that link and drop that in the chat for you so you can vote. All right, from this poll has started, the Jamaica Labour Party has been leading in the context of, who will win. And again, this is not an official poll, it's just our channel's poll. All right, so our community poll, and you can participate in this poll. All right, so again, welcome one, welcome all. If you're just tuning in, we're so happy to have you guys here with us. And the link to the poll, all right, that's there in the chat. All right, so we're not getting any we're not getting any calls at this point. So Ovi, do you have any final comments that you'd like to share? Ovi? All right, so we're not hearing from Ovi, but Ovi, thank you so much for calling, for joining us. We really appreciate that. And for all of you in the chat, who you have commented, if you have just tuned in and just listening, if you're here for the first time, trying to figure out what this space is about, that's totally okay. To all our returning viewers, listeners, subscribers, we really appreciate the support. All right, so thank you so much for keeping it real and respectful in the chat. We really appreciate that on this side. All right, as we continue to grow stronger together. All right, so again, we'll be here tomorrow, sometime in the evening, I suppose, unless something really happens and we need to bring you some updates. So you need to ensure that you have your post notification turned on. So tap the bell and select all so that you do not miss any updates from this channel. Oh, there is one thing that I should have had on screen, but unfortunately I don't. But if you were in the group, I would have, in the WhatsApp group, I would have shared this information with you earlier today. All right, so just to let you know that, all right, the ECJ or the EOJ, they're recruiting polling station security assistant. So one day police for the upcoming general elections in the parishes of St. Anne and Trelawney. So if you're interested in that, please ensure that you contact the you can apply at the nearest EOJ, at your nearest EOJ constituency office in the parishes of St. Anne and Trelawney, and you should bring a valid ID and TRN. All right, so definitely. And they have some other conditions here, including the applicant should be able to read and write, have at least secondary level education, and you will be compensated. So election day workers will be compensated. So if you're interested in that opportunity, so if you're tuned in or if you have family members in the parishes of St. Anne and Trelawney, all right, you may want to reach out to your nearest EOJ constituency office if you're interested in this opportunity, or if your family members are interested in this opportunity, you need to bring a valid ID and TRN. All right? So that's it for this one, guys. That's it. So again, please remember to support us as best as you can. All right? The easiest ways to support us is by liking and subscribing. Ensure that you hit that like button, that subscription button, and also share. Tell your friends, your family members, your PMP friends, the JLP friends, no P, all Jamaicans gather here. We do a lot. So if you're interested also in sports, the Diamond League and the different stops on the circuit, we're here for that. All right, World Championships coming up, we're here for that. Schoolboy football coming up, we're here for that. So stick and stay with us, guys. Really appreciate all the support. I'm just going to play some music and then I'll sign out of this one. All right, let me see if I can get the music up, by the way. But if not, we're just going to sign out of this one. But let's see what I can get for music, and then we will just sign this one out. And I don't know, here we go. Let's see.